Okay, for this particular exercise, I'm going to show you guys how to use the Liquify filter. Unfortunately, in the graphic design industry, the Liquify filter is often used to modify human bodies. I don't want to endorse the idea that anybody should look any certain way or be a particular size, but the unfortunate reality of it is anytime you flip through a magazine of models and celebrities, they've been touched up, and they create kind of unrealistic expectations for the rest of us. But luckily, we can still accomplish this using an inanimate object, which today is going to be your glass bottle. So to use the Liquify filter, you're going to go up to Filter, and you're going to go down to here, Liquify. As you continue to use this function, it's going to pop up here too. You always want to make sure you go down to this one, otherwise it's not going to work right. So I have a couple different tools that I can use at my disposal. This is the forward push tool. That's most likely what you're going to be using. So I'm going to shave, whoa, that's way too big. I'm going to shave this bottle down a little bit. And I can play around with the density and how much pressure I put on it. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Too small. Got to find a happy medium here. Oh, that's good. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm just going to push and warp that bottle down. If I go too fast, or if my brush isn't the size I want it to be, I might leave some indents. And what that does is it pushes the pixels inward. And I can come over and do that on the other side to create a different shaped bottle without really subtracting or taking away other pixels. And if there's something I want to change, like I really like this curve over here, I'd like that to be symmetrical, I can use the Reconstruct tool. And all that does is puts the pixels back where they were before. So I could really just go in and give that a try again. And again, as I change the density or pressure, that gives you different results as well. So I'm really just going to, your job is going to be to just shrink the bottle down. But you can also use the forward push tool to go out or twirl. That looks like it would be a nightmare to wash. And again, the Reconstruct tool, easiest way to get it to go back to normal. All right, let's talk about the freeze mask. The freeze mask, say there's parts of my bottle that I don't want to edit. Like say I really want to keep this top. And you can change the color of this. Say there's something in the background you don't want moving. You can change the color over here. Like say I had a red background, I could go to cyan. That's a little too close. So I'm actually going to stick with red. And now when I go to use that brush, those parts of the bottle aren't going to move. So I'm just going to very gradually push and pull until I get a nice shaped bottle. And then of course, if you have a freeze mask, you've got to thaw. So if I want to get rid of that, click on that button over here. Looks like a little eraser. We'll get to that button in a minute. And I can erase parts of that. So I want you guys to kind of give the bottle an inward push. Here we go. Oh, too much. Kind of like it's a weird, funky bottle you'd find in like grandma's curio cabinet. Just kind of narrow that down. Or like a water bottle almost. You want it to be even. I'm working very quickly, but the slower you go with this, the better. Push that in a little bit. And then some of the other tools, if you're super zoomed in, say zoom in really far, and I need to move around on my picture, I can either use the scroll bars over here, or I can use the hand tool to kind of come around. I definitely want to back out a little bit. Fix that because it's bothering me. There we go. And I could continue to mess with that until I got it completely perfect. So I'm going to hit OK. And now my bottle has been transformed. Another quick, fun tool to kind of mess around with. Adobe just added this in recent years. It's called the Face Morph tool. So you do have to have a human face to be ordered in order to use this. So remember, as you've used the Liquify filter, it's going to start popping up here. You don't want that one. That's going to try to apply what you last did to this dude, and Photoshop's going to freak out, and it doesn't like that. So I'm going to go to Liquify. I'm going to choose the Face Morph tool, and there's all kinds of options over here. I could change his eyes. If I go in here, it only lets you edit it so much, but I could make his eyes bigger. I can change the tilt. I could make them smaller. I can change his nose. Make it longer, make it wider, make it skinnier. Whatever I want. I'm gonna fix that eye so it is symmetrical. Let's see, I made that bigger, wider. Played around with that. There are settings. If you look over here, say I wanted my eye to be completely the same. If you if you press that link button, now anything I do to this eye is going to happen to the other one. So if you're trying to keep your eyes and your features proportional, that's a great way to do it. You can mess with the mouth. And again, it only lets you push it so far because you do still want it to look human. But this is just an example, again, of how people in the industry, whether it's fashion, whether it's film, whether it's whatever, celebrity industry, this is how they edit people's faces to look what we perceive as perfect. Unfortunately, it's a narrative pushed through society. Like, say I could fix his jawline, make him broader or skinnier. Now he looks like a football player. He looks like a movie star, football player, movie star, back and forth. But unfortunately, there are certain ideals that people in power push, and this is how they make everybody achieve them. You can do the same thing to a lady face. So I'm going to go up to Filter again, Liquify. And her eyes actually seem really large. So again, if I want to link those, I'm going to click on this little chain link. And now when I go to make her eyes a little bit smaller, a little more realistic, I can do that. So let's go into nose. And you can play around with these manual settings too. I prefer to just click and drag. I'm almost positive this was edited beforehand because people's proportions just aren't that perfect. Let's see. How about that mouth? And you can even drag parts of the face over. So now she's got kind of like a sideways anime mouth. If something happened, you can always go back and fix it. Maybe. Maybe Control Z, Command Z. There we go. Fix it. Command Z also works in the Liquify filter, guys. So your job today is to edit your bottle so it looks more like a water bottle using the Liquify filter. Again, that's up here. And the forward push tool for the most part. That practice gets uploaded to your folder. You can play around with the man face and then upload that. Play around with the lady face and upload that. The summative for this is you are going to choose either a human face or another type of bottle. Maybe it's a Coca-Cola bottle, and change either the width, height, whatever you want about it. So maybe you want to go into your bottle and like make it really crazy, like it's splashing out. Or maybe you just want to make it look normal. And notice how when I hit that reconstruct thing, it went back to how it is after my last save state. So it's not going to go back to the really wide bottle. It's going to go back to what I already showed. After I said, that's a really big brush. Still too big. Better. So now I could go back out, and it does distort the pixels a little bit. Now it's a Culligan bottle. So wide. So chunky. Thought about doing this project with Godzilla, but even Godzilla shouldn't be pressured to stand up to society's standards. Any questions? Cool.